Hello everyone and welcome to HyperSpace on X. We'll just give it a minute or so for everyone to join. Hey Ethan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Antonis?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. I see that Tufi's mic is on, but I could not hear him.
2 feet, yeah, he'll be speaking on the show. We've got a few updates to give and then we'll go over to our CEO, Tufi Saliba.
Awesome, awesome.
I'll get started for those who are brand new to us or just need a reminder. What is HyperCycle? HyperCycle is engineering network infrastructure for the Internet of AI. AI deployed via HyperCycle network nodes can attain higher intelligence or more revenue every fraction of a second. You can participate on the Internet of AI by owning and/or operating network node factories. There's no previous technical experience required, and full education, support, and guidance is provided. You can also deploy yours or your client's AI to the Internet of AI in any code, any AI. It's simple onboarding with our innovative software. If you visit hypercycle.ai for more information. And in today's show, we have an update from IOAI ProDev. So that's the Internet of AI ProDev. And they're providing the education courses to HyperCycle for operating HyperCycle network nodes. We also have an exciting opportunity from the HyperCycle business development team. A brief reminder of the CBNO program, that's the Community Beta Node Operator program, and what they're doing and how to apply. And we also have an update from HMS, HyperPG's management service. And then we'll go to our CEO, Tufi Saliba. If you have questions for him, please put your hand up. We'll bring you to the stage and you can ask your question. Ethan, I'm just going to ask, when I give these updates from IOAI ProDev and HMS, etc., I know you've not heard them, so if there's anything not clear or you don't understand it, please ask, because if you don't, then I'm sure other people have missed it. And of course, if there's any community members that want further clarification, again, just put your hand up and I'll be happy to answer those questions. So I'll start with IOAI ProDev, the Internet of AI ProDev. And as I said, they're the ones delivering the education courses so you can learn how to be a node operator. The 8-minute course has launched, and this is a basic course. Access is currently restricted to factory owners only, and the work and feedback you're providing is very important for when general access is made available to everyone. Now, though it's restricted to factory owners, one thing that is important is you are not required to use your factories. I know that causes some confusion. People are like, do I want to take my factory away from HMS? You don't have to do anything like that. I'll explain a bit around the nodes that are in the program. So for those who have done it and deployed the node to AWS, one of the common questions coming up is, what is this node? What is it doing? How is it working? Is it generating revenue? So on and so forth. So I'll start with the definition of a node. A node is defined as a pairing of a HyperCycle node license with an instance of a HyperCycle node software. So you control the AWS server with the HNS deployed, but the license itself is not owned outright. IOAI ProDev is providing training to operate nodes, and this is what you are doing. You are operating that node instance. It's not a node factory. You won't get the unlocks from this. You are operating the node instance using AWS. And the node's role in the program is to run a directory service that other nodes can subscribe to for network discovery. This is a paid service, meaning the node does generate revenue for you as an operator. So it's quite a cool little program. You get trained in operations, and you can also make a bit of revenue on top. Now, people are asking about the costs for AWS. The node within the 8-minute program can run within the AWS free tier as long as you're running a single instance. You won't incur charges, only extremely high traffic. So if there were millions of requests per day, that would push usage beyond the free tier. But as you can imagine, when it gets to that millions of requests per day, you won't be complaining about covering AWS costs because you'll be having millions of traffic go through that node. If you have not yet registered for the course and would like to, please visit ioaiprodev.com/form/8-min-ticket. And you can also find that in the articles section. I know a lot of you have filled out in that form and you're still waiting for your ticket. The few batches that went out to the test groups, there was a bit of tweaking to do to the system. I believe that's all done now, and they're just currently writing the script so that everyone else who's on that list can get your ticket. So you should be getting that ticket very soon. Ethan, would you say that's clear enough about what the nodes are doing in the program? Anything you think needs to be clarified further?
Yeah, I think I have everything clear right now. So again, just to recap, these are not node factories. These are the actual nodes themselves. And, so we'll be operating them on AWS. Am I missing anything else from it?
No, yes.
And ProDev is providing the nodes.
So no, actually, the nodes are chosen at random from a subscript in HMS. So IOAI ProDev, it actually activates nodes in HMS as well. So if you have factories in HMS and you're doing the IOAI ProDev course, you're actually benefiting double. And when I move on to the HMS update, it will give a bit of insight into why having clusters be able to interact with each other across the network is a big benefit if you are a node factory owner. If that makes sense?
Got
it. So moving on to HMS, and for those who are brand new, this is HyperPG's management service. It's another partner company of HyperCycle, and their service is they till your nodes, so they carry out the proof of work that's required for your nodes to unlock more nodes, because as many of you know, the HyperCycle node factories unlock 1,024 node licenses. And in addition to that, they also connect you with businesses, operators, AI service providers, so on and so forth. Currently, revenue is paid in USDC, which brings me on to the HMS update. And one of the common questions we were getting is, when will revenue rise? What's going on with HMS update? So on and so forth. So this is from the HyperPG team. HMS's first objective was offering free tilling, replacing HTS's paid tilling service at $5 a month. This brought in an enormous number of node factories in the first month, almost as many in the next month, and tranche 3 was more than both of those put together. The technical work to stabilize tilling for that many node factories is complete, and HMS has even managed to generate some revenue beyond just offering a free stable source of tilling. The main scaling factor for revenue in HMS is how many nodes it is activating. Each node it activates makes a decent amount of revenue, which is then spread proportionally across all HMS accounts. Now that the first goal is complete, which is the stabilization of tilling, HMS can turn its attention to the business features necessary for scaling the number of node activations. So going back to the education, that's just one way. Obviously, your nodes could be activated in a multitude of ways in HMS for a multitude of different companies, businesses, etc. There are many ways to make money from HyperCycle node factories and nodes. HMS is one of them. Because HMS has no lock-in, everyone using it is free to consider other opportunities as they emerge. More opportunities is good for everyone in the ecosystem. Ethan, understood? Do you think there's anywhere that needs clarification?
No, I think I'm clear on that. So basically the nodes that are activated, they are the distributions from them are being, across the pool, right? So that's why people are seeing fractions of pennies that are coming into their, accounts.
Yeah, so the nodes that are activated do very well in HMS. But as I said, yeah, it's then spread across the pools, which are very large. I think I said in last episode, it's set to be the largest Web3 node network in the world, and also just one of the largest node networks in the world behind telecoms and the internet itself. Um, but yeah, so now that they've got on top of the tilling and it's a stabilized service, I think it's currently running at about 98%, which is very good. They'll keep tweaking it to get it above that 99%. You'll never get 100%, unfortunately. But yeah, getting it above that 99%. But now that they've done that with the tilling, they can turn their attention to getting these nodes activated. And the more nodes that activate in the network for computation, the more revenue that HMS will bring in. And that is their primary focus now. And just in regards to the accounting software, that is currently still in the process of being updated. I know it is taking a little while, but the update for the accounting software, it is very necessary. It doesn't just need to work for the current batch of nodes. It needs to work for when multitudes of partners are coming in, when clusters in HMS are interacting with external clusters, when further tranches are opened up, so on and so forth. So it needs to be very robust. So it is just going through slightly more rigorous testing than we normally do, just to make sure that everything is 100%, and that it shouldn't be too much longer. So we do thank you for your patience. We know you want to monitor that. It shouldn't be too much longer. I'll move on now to the business development team. This is being spearheaded by Okan. I know many of you know him. So the HyperCycle business team is currently seeking affiliate partners to drive adoption of HyperCycle node licenses. This is a commission-based role. You'll connect with businesses, investors, and communities, earning USDC payouts on every referral. If you're entrepreneurial, connected, and passionate about AI and/or blockchain, join the foundation of a global peer-to-peer economy. And the benefits from this is you will have access to official HyperCycle partner materials and dedicated support from our business development team, exclusive insights into upcoming HyperCycle product launches and campaigns, and the opportunity to scale your affiliate operations regionally. You can apply for Monday via our official LinkedIn account or via email to oxy@hypercycle.ai, or you can book a meeting with Okan, and that's on the HyperCycle website, book a meeting. This will go live on all the social media channels on Monday as well. So you'll be able to read a bit more about it and see if it is something you're interested in. I know we've had many people who are factory owners come and ask questions, and they want to spread the word, but they don't quite know where to start, or they just want a bit of guidance and advice. So I think this would be a very promising program for them, where they could really fulfill their potential and hopefully for them generate plenty of money. The next update is from the CBNO program. So just a reminder what that is. This is the Community Beta Node Operator program. So in contrast to IO AI ProDev, the CBNO is more for those who already have a good technical understanding, and they have the hardware capable of running network nodes in their home or in the HPC centers. And this is a beta program where they're testing Node Manager, which is an advanced tool for operating node factories, including deploying aims to a node and running a node on your own hardware or a HPC. The program now has 20 plus members, progress has moved very quickly. The feedback has been very good. And it's all working towards getting this node manager out for general use. So those all around the world can have access to it and start building on HyperCycle and deploying nodes to their own hardware and distributing the network and coming up with ideas that will just expand growth. You can see what's currently going on via our new show, Ops Corner, which is live on the HyperPG Discord video stage. This is where Raymond, who's in charge of the CBNO, demonstrates Node Manager with aims and also future tech and software releases. The recording is published to the official HyperCycle YouTube podcast channel within 24 hours of the live ending, and you can catch episodes 1 and 2 now on our YouTube podcast channel. And if you have strong technical skills and understanding, innovative ideas, and are willing to dedicate your time, then you can apply for the CBNO by contacting Raymond via DM on Discord. He can be found as an admin on the HyperPG Discord under the username @RayGrow. It is a great program, and there's definitely going to be a lot of, well, I've already heard some of the ideas that people have planned coming out of that, and they really are fantastic. And I can't wait to see them go to market. I think they will all be very successful. Tufi, are you available? I'll just give
Yes. Just we finished the previous one a bit earlier. Was supposed to finish at 1:30, but finished it now. So I'm with you. What's up?
Fantastic. Great to have you here. How are you?
Excellent. Great. A lot of cool stuff since we talked last. So
yeah. I don't know if you caught the opening. As you can hear, the partners, so HyperPG, IOAI ProDev, Okan, Raymond, there's a lot going on as well on the partner programs, helping grow this Internet of AI. So it's all getting very excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think we're traversing several territories and literally as we speak, and we're looking forward to getting to that boom moment, and I'm hoping that the 1,700 of us that were Node Factory owners, we would really benefit in such a way that introducing a much larger portion of that world to partake in that wealth creation, because it's a positive sum game, and it's super exciting to get close to it.
Agreed. Everything that's being built, everything that's being done, it is win-win for everyone here. I do have some questions from the community that have been coming in, Tufi. Should we get those covered now?
I think some of the stuff that the people, last time we talked was when it was right after the announcement that was made out of UAE, the coverage of Korea, and it's effectively that deal on its own is super awesome. Just a recap, I've posted on my LinkedIn some of the details. If people haven't seen it, perhaps they can look at my Twitter. I linked to it from my Twitter, but you can post that link somewhere. And if people like it, click like, share it, whatever. It's a great article that describes what actually happened, and that is available in the public information. And to recap on that, it's effectively the $225 million being injected by the Korean consortium, and 25 million by the HyperCycle UAE. That's all cash money, and then initially it was 200 million of node factories, because at the time we were going at the price of 1,450. But given that we've getting very close to the reports by third-party certified assessment agencies, that they're all looking at it, that it's more than $5,000. And again, this is the raw node factory. If you add the additional components from the C8, it would be about 10,850. But they're backing the raw one on its own. And what that means, the backing, is that the $200 million is sitting there telling all the clients that they sell those node factories to, when you get to the point where you produce the first nodes, L9, from L10 to L9, and then you get second, when as soon as they get to L8, the L9 gets to be released, which is, if you go full speed, you can do that in 12 months. But you think that this is not for you, you can then click on the one button and get that $5,000 for your node factory.
Wow.
So that gives it a very floor. It's amazing. I mean, it's $200 million sitting there to protect that floor. That is fantastic. Of course, there is a couple nations that they cover, also lead nations, kind of like Korea, but for different territories, that they've got the same deal, but they also have some huge purchase orders that they're going through it as we speak. And then as we move towards other territories and we get more reports for higher, it would give us a lot more mileage, the amount of node factories that we still have to kind of deploy in those territories, because we moved from $2.5 billion of total assets that we've got in node factories to about $8.5 billion, and many of you that are here, I think you kind of know what I'm talking about when we did the actual move to base as a representation of those assets. And then the second thing, if it's going to be, let's say $20 billion, whatnot, it gives us a lot of 200 million to deploy into many different nations, that they use it to expand and then expand. So that's great on the ability to have many more node factory owners to grow in the tens of thousands, because currently we're 1,700. But if we're in the tens of thousands of node factory owners across the globe, that would be fantastic. For those that are close to the company, they also know that about a year and so ago, we have this purchase order by group that they represent about 20,000 entities, that they, each and every one of them, they basically bought 20,000 node factories, but they bought them on behalf of those 20,000. So they're also spreading it. So if it happens all in 2026, I think we can safely say that we're getting to a very, very solid network lock-in, because if you get 50,000-60,000 node factory owners that they're spreading their nodes, each the smallest one basically is generating 1,024 nodes. Some of them they have, on their own, they have tens of thousands. So that's a great network lock-in. And network lock-in is essential for a lot of entities and ecosystems, to give them the incentive to partake in the big thing that is coming. We, like many people, they say, hey, why don't you open source everything? And I'm like, okay, well, there is, from my perspective, even if I open source everything, that from my perspective, there's a lot of components that we call it the Matryoshka model, where the TM, several different TM development teams, they give part of it closed source, part of it open source, and as it unlocks the second stage, then they open source the first one with the same signature, same hash, then you know that it's the same code that they provided before, and then they release a subsequent one, as the software evolves. That gives a lot of incentives to a lot of software developers, because otherwise, if they don't have the incentive, like, why would they do it? And getting the incentive to be incorporated is important in this equation. So yeah, like if you were to look back in the early days as a comparison, the early days of the internet, a lot of small companies here and there, they start growing to become internet service providers, not just the old telcos that they became internet service providers. And I think that that's the grassroots approach that we're using while we're growing from national perspective, like top down. We're doing that. You're hearing about it in news, but the grassroots from bottom up as well, having a lot of that you have node factories and running those factories, which brings me to remind everyone, as a node factory owner, running those node factories and producing nodes is the action that you do to make money, not the ones that HMS provide on the nodes. The difference here, the example that I've used in the past, and I'm going to use it again. If you're buying a car factory, and the car factory produces cars, and those cars, they have functions and they have utility, and people, they buy the cars to go for leisure, for vacation, whatnot. But some people, they buy the cars to drive an Uber and make money out of those cars. So the making money out of the car is like what the HMS is doing, is not necessarily what the node factory, what the car factory, for example, is how it actually makes money. Because that's extremely, extremely important distinction here. So
just
when we look
would add to the of importance on this matter is obviously we had, when this was said last HSpace, we had some people who say, yeah, that's great. I want to produce network nodes for selling, and they're asking when the market for that will come. But then we also have many people who say, well, I don't want to sell my nodes. I want to run them.
Fantastic.
And just clarify, for those people that do want to run their nodes, you can do both. You can be as many stakeholders in this node factory as you're capable of being, can't you?
Of course. It's just
yes.
The folks that they need your nodes, they're partitioned between two separate groups. If you think of them as two separate groups, but you know that your node that is being produced by your node factory can do two functions. One is that have the capability to increase the revenue for any AI that you plug it into it. And the other is having the ability to increase the intelligence of any AI. But that's the same node can do both. So it is additive equation of what's the value of that node. So you might notice that there's some clients that they may want to borrow the nodes that you produce, or have some sort of rev share with you if they're using it to generate revenue. Some others, they're just interested into buying, getting more intelligent, their AI to get more and more intelligent. A lot of examples, you can think of it from that perspective. If you're, let's say, security agency, you want to have like your cameras to have the access to the latest and greatest like intelligence that exists out there. For those that they don't, that they're new to this, and we would be like, hey, but why can't it use the existing internet? The existing internet is built for human, and it can enable people to retrieve data that is already there. If you search for that data, or if I search for that data, you get the same content. And I think it's different when it comes to the Internet of AI. Is that your AI, when it's asking another AI, it's actually running the compute right there on the spot. Their response for that one is different than the other one, and I think it's maybe I'll share with you. Jensen Huang, when he's sitting with Elon Musk a couple of days ago in the Saudi US investment forum, 2 days ago and he basically restates that the fact that in the Internet of AI, the actual things that is being exchanged is not information. This is a big difference. It's actually requesting the other computer to run some compute. Okay. If you use the existing internet to run that compute, whoever is requesting could be DDoSing, you have to do it only in either the trusted environment, which is called intranet, not internet, trusted environment, such as, if you were to use the Google A2A on its own, it's trusted. But if you want to expand to the rest of the world in the fully open internet, then you need to have some ability for your AI to talk to others that you don't know. From that perspective, you would use, let's say, the nodes that have been produced by the node factories. So someone might ask another question, or be like, okay, well, can you make, if you can make, millions of those node factories, then someone else will be able to make those node factories too. Well, that's not true. They have to go through that process. I cannot make those nodes. I can make the node factories that they are finite amount, the 2.15 million node factories. And from that finite, each and every node factory has a finite amount of nodes that it can create. This is analogous to like why when you go to a phone company, they have a finite amount of phone numbers that they've got, or you go to an internet service provider, they have a finite amount of IP that they can provide. So it's important to go from that perspective, and then you can then compare at some point in the future, you're always going to compare two systems that they run identical to each other. One has the entire power of Microsoft and has all Google behind it and all of the stuff, let's say. That's system A.
Okay.
B is identical, has everything exactly what A has. But then A decides to add the node that you've produced using the node factory. That's objective reality. This is the node that has all proofs from inception to the time that it comes to exist, that an intelligence from outer space or from within Earth, objective reality, were to choose between A and B, will find that A is at least a little bit better. It has that at least a little bit, even if it's tiny little bit better, and it has the choice between those two, it's going to choose A every single time. So that's something extremely powerful, and that comes in part of that network lock-in. The more it gets to be solidified and spread between a lot of people, the more it has that value into it. So I think we keep adding more and more value into this, but this is like one of the very, very few software that it's probably actually the only one we're talking to assessment agencies. When you are in the AI space today, if you buy a lot of hardware, over the next 3 years, you're losing 90% of the value of that hardware. If you buy software, 90% of them, you're going to lose 90% of that value over the next 3 years. Why? Because there's like newer software, newer this, newer that. This here is the only one that has given you the ability to appreciate in value, because as time goes, it's using the time to get itself to be more and more valuable in that objective reality that I just talked about. And that objective reality is paramount. It's huge. Okay. So like this is something that it's 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I talked to some of the top AI scientists in the world. They couldn't really comprehend of why. But why? We don't really need this. We just need you to build onto the IP or whatnot. But now they're realizing, holy shit, that's what this HyperCycle is. It's giving the ability for people to do that tilling process to create those to produce those nodes.
sorry to interrupt you. Those network nodes that unlock, they carry the history from their mother node, from the node they unlocked from?
Exactly. The entire
Yes.
provenance that is being carried is has nothing to do with the company HyperCycle. It's all code that people preserve, and all of those proofs that they have themselves. So it's independent, and that's another extremely powerful thing. That independence that we have thanks to the ERC-64 and to the IP and all of those is what gives them the ability to preserve that wealth creation as you grow. So for example, you have a node factory, produce all of those nodes, but the node that you produce, and then you get to release, let's say, L9 December of next year. You release that L9 and you give it to someone brand new coming from, I don't know, JP Morgan, or coming from Bitcoin community, or coming from anywhere in the world that they want to buy that node from you. And let's say they buy the node, let's say for $500 or $100, whatever price that you agree to sell the node itself, not the node factory, node itself. They buy that. The moment that you actually get a release, it has a ratio of 2.0. But from that point onwards, their ratio continues to increase as they use it. As they use it, it keeps getting more and more experience, gets more and more, intelligence, gets more and more know-how, and all of the stuff, which means that it helps them preserve that wealth creation that they're partaking in. Its in the global wealth creation. So when folks, they talk about, but tell me, what does it do to me today? Well, it's this entire technology is built for AI to talk to other AI. What it can do to a human is if they are partaking in either owning a node factory, operating node factory, or on the node level. So that is the capability, that's the extent of the human involvement. The rest of it is all that new paradigm shift, that whether people like it or not, the Internet of AI is coming to exist, and it's likely to add more than $250 billion to the global economy. People might change the name to Internet of AI agents, like Cisco call it, or like Internet of Agents, or like MIT, NAD, or whatnot. It can call it whatever it is. We're calling Internet of AI, can have variations of that name, but it's coming, and it's a new wealth creation. That new wealth creation is going to exist whether I like it or not, whether anyone likes it or not. You want to be part of that wealth creation. This is the time to actually get plugged in, and in that objective reality, to be part of that wealth creation, as opposed to looking at historic things and how the history of the world function. This is a new world that we're entering, and we're championing it, and we're leading it. And if you don't believe me, look at the history. Look at how Google A2A 9 months ago released Google A2A. When you look at how the specifications of Google A2A, it's so in line with everything that we've pushed out over 2 years ago and whatnot. And that's Google A2A. And in Google AP2, it adds more to it. You look at Microsoft and NL Web, same thing. MCP from Anthropic, Cisco, all of the big players, instead of seeing them as they are the threat, we have to fight them. No. They are just nodes into that Internet of AI. Instead of calling it decentralized, come and join my decentralized, Jensen Huang, come and join my decentralized, Elon Musk. You're putting people on the spot that is very difficult, that people, they thought would decentralize of something that is they're losing control or whatnot. Instead, they see it as a method to partake in that Internet of AI, to get to increase the revenue of their AI, to get to increase the intelligence of their AI. So that's something that it's very, very, very powerful, and we're approaching it all together. And it's just to lead that. It's you can imagine how much work and effort it requires to do all of these things. And it's a $1 quadrillion. Even if we get to 0.1% of that, that's $1 trillion. And for a company our size to kind of get to that point, with when compared to many others, that the amount of capital they require to just like have a tiny little dent into this new space is just it's phenomenal. So I'm extremely proud of everyone's accomplishments here. Everyone that is listening, you're actually partaking in that creation, even if you're just listening. If you by listening, you're putting in that time, and that time is an effort, is what's helping making this a reality. So yeah, that's super exciting. Now, what I want to talk about that we haven't really mentioned before is something that I think people would really enjoy knowing this, and it's more so around the use cases for how many entities they see the utilizations of the nodes, not the node factories. So that is phenomenal. Like, think of I won't share the specific use cases that they are bringing in their businesses until they make those announcements and releases, but it enables I'm gonna call it XYZ use case. Okay, so the XYZ use case.
Okay.
Let's say that this is in medical doctors. Let's say they want to have the ability to have their let's say nodes to shield and protect all of the AI that they're using, but at the same time they want that AI to have access to other AIs in other places anywhere around the world, but at the same time they're part of like franchise doctors, clinics, or whatnot, and they come in and say like, hey, we want to get all your future production of nodes. We understand that when the node is being released, it's got some intrinsic value to it. So to say it's like $400 or $500 or whatever that is. But if I come in and buy it in advance from you right now because I need to put it as part of my product that I'm building, that's effectively what is happening. So many of those use cases, as they're building their products, instead of waiting to spend $400 or $500 per node, I feel like, what if we lock it now and they come to you and say like, hey, I'm going to give you, $50 for that node, but I'll give you $50 now. So long as you continue the actual production and you produce that node, I'll take the node. I'm not interested in the node factory. My business is running doctors' clinics or whatnot. So that's I just came up with that use case because it doesn't really exist. That specific one doesn't really exist.
Okay.
If it actually
so it's an example.
Just I had to come up with some that without infringing into anyone, but that capability enables anyone that it's that has some nodes that they're coming, or node factories, to start adding those use cases. So we started working around that to see how we can have like a marketplace where you can go and add that use case. Somebody's coming in and pitching you about some ideas, or you want to extend your business into some specific idea that you've had in the AI space, and you see that it actually makes sense. Then you add it to this thing. So instead of having the node, now think about it this way. This is the punchline here. So you have the software that you can go and sell to that doctors, clinics, or whatnot, saying like, okay, this is a software that has all the components that you're looking at, and the software could be built by any existing company. It doesn't have to be like a new one, but let's say you're spending, let's say, $1,000 in perpetual license for that software as one of the options that you've got going, and the other option is that you're going to spend $200 a month, and you chose $1,000. Okay, great. This is that with or without our existence. But then they come in and say like, wait, if we put that software that we're building, that we're thinking is going to be released, let's say in December or whatnot, instead of selling it for $1,000, it has all of those capabilities. It has access to the Internet of AI. We're going to put that software for $1,500, and all it takes to do that, I'll give you $50 now, or put it for $2,000. It gives them the ability to have with their whoever their competition is, and now they stand out If their competition, they realize that what they're doing, they want to come in and catch up. By that time, the node is being released, and it's like $500, not $50. You see what I mean? So they started looking after the node, and that increases the demands around the nodes. So we're looking that. We also talked about that another angle that they also want to increase the demand by coming in and taking percentage of all the node production by anyone. And you go and submit your node factories to that, let's say, smart contract, and that would be separate entity that is completely separate from HyperCycle. That entity, all they want to do is deal with all the other crypto projects. So they come in and they buy, let's say, the first 3 generations that you could produce for a discount. They come in and say, I'm going to give you, $20 per node that you will produce, and you can sell half of your production to me. And if you go to that smart contract for the first 3 generations, and first 3 generations, let's say the average is first generation, let's say 20. The second generation, because coming later, they pay you 14, 15, whatnot. And that's I'm just being very pessimistic here. It's like, let's say pay you $21 and 14, then 10 for the third generation because it's coming in like 2 years. And but they give you the money now for half of your production, which is you're going to have release. You're going to have 2 released, and then 4, and then 8. But they come in and take 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so they only took like seven of your production. They give you $94. You could choose to give it to them or not, but that's not bad. In like for some people, they might see that it's not bad. Some people, they say it's like, wait, I don't have to give it to them in, let's say, January. I'll wait until February to give it to them or whatnot. Because why? February, it's closer to your release dates. And effectively, if you wait all the way to your actual release and you're selling the node itself for more than 150, that's fine too. So that's one avenue that people, they might feel like, hey, as I'm producing nodes, that people there, now I understand, as a node factory, I make nodes, that's how I make money. And there are people that are actually coming in and pre-release buying those nodes and give me money for them. So what is that equivalent? Like when they say, I'm giving you $10 for something that you're producing in the next 2 years, and $21 the one that's producing in a year. What does that mean? What is that equivalent to? Just a quick reminder to people, what is that equivalent? This is for every HYPCE that is being plugged in. Remember the finite number where it comes from, 1024. When we merge the construction of that node factory, it's effectively bringing in, we call that AI marriage. It's like it's got like, this is how many eggs it's got and how many it can make children, if you think, or whatnot. So it's like that construction, HYPCE, is what's that when you combine it with that marriage and run that the compute is worth today, that they're seeing that is worth $10 that you're producing in 2 years from now. You see, so that's something super fascinating when you see that, because it's like when we felt like about a year ago, those that they remember the history of things, and we got in HYPC on its own over $2 billion in HYPC, all of the stuff, and then some folks decided wanting to we got $1.18 at HYPC, and then people, they wanted to they took whether they're entitled to or not, they took them and started like using them to do like all kind of like pump and dump or all kind of stuff. They did that, but then we wanted to protect the community. They bought the HYPC at the time for the actual use that we've said it from the get-go. The HYPC use is for those nodes. They got the married nodes. So all of those that they got that, they end up getting protected, shifted into base. So all that $2.5 billion of organic growth that we as a community produce shifted to base, and let those other ones that they want to do the dump to just let's screw themselves, like they bring themselves down to the penny. Now, while that is happening, this is they there's others that they're watching from outside and seeing until all of those they emptied all of their pockets and sold for penny. Then they will go, perhaps eventually go like boost HYPC, whatever they do to that. We already have the immunity into the node factories that's producing the nodes, and every single node is $10 at the lowest that we're seeing for something to be produced in 2 years. So that's like the lowest. So people, they're seeing that this is where this is going. This is where it is today, where people, they're willing to give me $10 today for what those idiots are selling for a penny. Holy shit. What? And why they're willing to spend the $10? Because they know that it's worth $500. It's also like, they're not dumb. They know that it
makes sense. Yeah.
It's got some in this objective reality, it has value that it adds to their AI. It's not some sort of like, speculative thing that it's based on, like, how how the stars move in space or whatnot. It's based on objective reality. This thing has utility. That utility justifies its value in that objective reality, not subjective. Subjective would be more like how we turn a currency into a religion, and we call it like Bitcoin. I mean, I love Bitcoin. Everyone here probably love Bitcoin. Some people, they might not like it or whatnot. That's their problem. But we believe it has value. But Bitcoin on its own doesn't have a function in an objective reality. Like if humans, they don't exist in those machines, they're producing Bitcoins. They don't do anything like on their own. They just have like the human belief that they have the value. Here we're talking about something else. We're talking about something that, whether you believe it has value or not, that thing has functionalities that justifies its existence by enabling any AI to increase its revenue or increase its intelligence. So that's what gives it that utility, gives it some phenomenal characteristics that they are unique. And many of you that have been here for a while know that if you were to tell the story to anyone, they'd be like, oh shit, that's unique. Oh wow, I've never seen anything like that. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Well, yes, it is. That's what we're doing. We take pride of being innovators. We're not really trying to copy anyone. We're not trying to have another chat calling it WhatsApp 2 or Signal 2, whatnot. This is we're defining that future. And if Google A2A, they're following our steps, guess what? If Microsoft NL Web, they're following our steps. If we have MIT behind us and put some of the top universities that they're actually so aligned with our things, yes, we are innovators. We are creating this new world. And for those that they don't see it, it's okay. They can sit back and watch. But we are doing it, and we're going to continue doing it. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to do speculative things. So it's all about that utility, and it's adding value, net value in positive sum game. So that's what we stand for. That's what we continue to do. So those use cases, they come to exist. People anywhere here, they're listening, they'll be able to go and put on their business ideas. Some other people, they come in and say like, oh, I like this idea. I want to pick it up. I want to build the prototype around it. And then it gives a lot more value to your nodes when they come out. You can wait until they come out. Like you said, your question was like, they're not interested in selling it. They just want to preserve that node and running it as a business. Well, if every node that you produce, the third-party assessment agencies, they're worth $500, but you're using it into a business by plugging it into car dealer, that software that the car dealer could be worth. This software now you can go and sell it for $14,000 or lease it for $500 a year or whatnot. You've got a phenomenal business that is based on phenomenal infrastructure. So you've got all of these options, and the interesting part is that if somebody who's just like node factory owner doesn't want to deal with any of the complexity, all of those education programs that you've mentioned and everything else, that they keep coming slowly but surely. I think they're releasing it to the public in I'm not sure when. I'm not going to give maybe next week, but whatever. But like those education programs enable node operators, they're called, to take care of all that complexity and partake in that wealth creation, or they can just go and benefit from all the revenue. You can continue with the wealth creation with the node factory. So it gives the ability for node factory owners to just do the least amount of work. It's kind of like you own a franchise for Starbucks or McDonald's. You just but you don't want to go and be flipping the burgers or making the coffee. You want others to run those businesses and manage it, and those are like the node operators. So that's happening, but it gives this AI market place that I'm referring to, that hopefully will be available to all of you to go and start putting in whatever ideas and use cases. Hopefully will be here before Christmas. I stopped saying things with certainty about the future, because sometimes people they may misunderstand what we say, or sometimes they hold me to those things. I'm just hopeful. I leave my expectations to the lowest.
We're targeting before Christmas, but we can't guarantee before Christmas.
How awesome it is if you're able to have, as a node factory owner, you're producing nodes. When you add your own business idea, and then 3 people, strangers to you, come and say like, hey, we're gonna go and build it and all that. And it's just like by writing ideas, you keep every day you go and type and write ideas. That's what this platform will provide you to. And someone will come back and say like, look, I built your idea, it's coming. Or someone might come and say like, yeah, but why would you need a node factory for that? They combat you, and believe me, it's okay if you're wrong 9 out of 10 of the times you come up with ideas. It's okay. But that one time that you're right, it keeps giving you ideas to keep adding more things. That those ideas they can make that node, instead of selling it for $500, to sell it together with that software for $14,000. And if the guys that they're building it, they want to take $7,000, good for them. Why? That's amplifying all of this the stuff that you're doing, but it's giving it much more better visibility to the Homo sapiens that are out there, that they don't necessarily understand what we're doing. Because we'd be like, oh yeah, you guys are building like part of like the infrastructure for the future, but what's in it for me? Like those use cases, they make it a lot more closer to the Homo sapien. Be like, oh, this is what it means. This is doctor's clinics, or like this is the car dealers, or this is whatever. Those use cases, they really make it shine, and that's what we're hoping we'll have those AI markets available by then. I mean, if any people they have some ideas around that, if they want to partake in that.
Hey, Tupi, talking about that on the business, I'm very curious about one question that I have been like diving today. Like, for example, talking about the business and on the level 9s, I don't know if it's possible, but for example, could you measure a level 9 node on how, like, for example, in hash rate or mini storage or something like that? I asked the question because, for example, I'm curious, like, could I create an AIM that corresponds to a DAO? You know, so that then later users can delegate their nodes to my AIM, and then I can use their resources, like, for example, to the clients that we have for web pages, or initiatives that we have, for example, on Cardano, like mining night and stuff like that.
Dude,
like a mini cluster. Is that possible?
Precisely what I'm hoping would happen. We will have 2 facades. The AI markets will have facade to the public, the outside world, that they've come in and just look at like some sort of AI market that's just like selling me an entire package of like car dealer. That's all I care about. I'm a car dealer. I don't want to know anything about nodes and node factories. They just go and buy this. That's one side. The other side is precisely what you're talking about. The side is like, you're a node factory owner. When you are a node factory owner, you have it enabled on your browser. It gives you access to that second part. Or we might give the second part via like some sort of whatever thing that like for the builders call it, or the owners, whatever. Like we give it some name that it's very, very respective to the public, so they don't necessarily think like, oh, what you're hiding there from me. This is more like for the guys that are doing the work, and then you can go there and put exactly, say, for example, that idea that you just described, and then Terence or Edward from the community be like, oh, you know what? I don't think you need this node factories. You could do it this other way, and then they turn out to be right. They do, and then you're like, oh man, I don't need to do this idea anymore. But maybe not. Maybe they say it's not, but then Cayman or Ed or Harry would be like, you know what? We were talking to Janet, and then we thinking this is amazing. We can actually build it for you, or Jerome might actually do it over a weekend. Nowadays, you can build things so fast and get it going, and then they would maybe use like a lot of like AI tools to get it going, but that they actually get you your business that you just described could be one of those markets. Now you package it as an AI market and you sell it. Brew, what? You're selling a product for $14,000 that is worth more than $14,000 because the buyer thinks that it's worth more than $14,000 because it's got all of the bells and the whistles. But meanwhile, it's probably the node that you produce. Instead of selling that node to those guys that want to buy it now from you for $20 before it comes out, you're building something that is worth $14,000. And if you have a car dealer wants to come and buy it like today from you, you tell them, okay, well, I'll give you a discount. You buy it for $5,000 because it's like the production ready is coming in December. But look at the ones that Janet built for me, or Jerome. It's like there's the prototype. It's working. This is how it would work. You can get that release in December. Like all of those businesses that will enable you, all the 1,700 of our I call it tiny community, but it's a solid foundation for any network effect thing that we're getting ready for. Would have all of those businesses that keep like making each other better and better, chatting with each other, putting in more and more description, and someone else will take that description and they use AI maybe to build your idea, maybe use combination of AI and their know-how. This thing can be super cool for all the stuff that we're all doing. It's an amplifier. It's just doesn't take anything away from what we're doing. It's just like an amplifier. So more and more amplifiers like that, like the government, the nations that I told you about the last time, and I put it in my LinkedIn. I said if people, they have connections to leaders and nations that they want to partake in this, and some of you have actually reached out and connected me to head of states, and we're talking to them, and this is amazing. So right now, I think we're almost fully saturated with nations. If you just like go to sleep and wake up after 3 or 4 months or 6 months, you'll be like, oh shit, they did cover all the 8 nations. They're like Korean, and they did the land and expand, and they've got that thing is already going top down. This is great. But here we're talking about this thing that we can shine by having in parallel to all of these things, enabling you to build all of those things around it, so then the Homo sapiens can understand you better than just talking about nodes. So yeah, absolutely. This is I don't want to say it's like a great idea itself, but I want to say it's a great attempt. Maybe it is a great idea. I need to think it more, but people from the community can sharpen it, and they can partake. They can partner with you.
Oh, I love it. I just wanted to know like your input on this, and yes, definitely I will dive deeper. Thank you for the output. Tufi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Mauricio. I'm just mindful of the time. If you do have a question, please raise your hand now, so we can get it answered. I've got a few questions that came in before the space, Tufi. Is it okay to just go through them?
Yes, please.
Yes. So, starting with Korea, as we were talking about it was noticed that the CEO of Naver, which is the Korean WeChat, and their co-founder were in your pictures. Are you able to divulge anything in regards to that, or is it wait and see?
He's the chairman. Just to correct, he's the chairman of Naver, and he's the founder of Naver. Yes, maybe he was CEO. He was CEO, I guess, at some point. But I think he's the same one who came to see me in Abu Dhabi the week before, and we went to dinner, and perhaps I'll post something on that as well. It's phenomenal human being, very intellectual at many different levels. And if you're asking, is there any dealing that we have with neighbor that I'm going to disclose publicly, and I'm going to say whether we do or we don't, we're not going to talk about those things, because we don't until entities themselves they talk about those. But be rest assured, we're, as a company, we're not doing anything exclusive. And even if we were to do anything exclusive, there's 1,700 other owners of node factories that they can do what they're not, bounded by the stuff that we do. We're building the internet of AI, and we will never build the intranet. Okay, so everything that we do is for the entire, true internet, the open, fully open, borderless, everywhere. It's the secure internet is what we're doing. So, yeah, I think it's that's my answer. I hope it's satisfying.
Yeah, thank you, Tufi. The other one was about Carousel. Is that still going, or is that now that we've done the Korea launch, is that replacing Carousel, or are they two separate entities anyway, and it has no impact?
Those are completely like separate threads all together. But I think it's there's sometimes there's some things that they end up connecting somehow because of the companies that they come out of. One would be beneficial to another, but it's not necessarily designed for that. It's just those are separate. Like the deal that we have right now is completely separate. The current government that is doing that, it would be called HyperCycle Korea. The other provincial government that is also in Korea, that they will make an announcement whenever they're ready. They're taking it to Asia Pacific, to 9 different nations. So the countries, like Korea is going to be a phenomenal blueprint to enable a lot of other nations to take that model and spread it into their area. So we're looking for lead nations that they can take this and spread it. But it's that top-down approach is only one out of many things that we're doing in parallel, as you know. So yeah, think of them as multiple threads. Like people, they asked me yesterday about hey, what do you do with those rings, or what do you do with this or with that? Like, I mean, all of those, they're separate things, but there's a point in time that if they were to it takes certain when any one of those, when they rise, they lift a lot with them. When they're not rising, then they're whatever they're doing, they're not they don't like that business that you're going to submit, let's say, for that AI markets or whatnot. You can have 100 different businesses, and 99 of them, they will not do anything, and only one that will actually do phenomenally well. It will lift everyone with it. You see what I mean? It's like it's built. Everything is built in loosely coupled, same way as our architecture. Actually, the software architecture, everything actually that I do is kind of like loosely coupled. I guess that's why I'm divorced 4 times. But anyway, the loosely coupled in software architecture is highly regarded as a good thing, because you're not dependent on that other software. You just, if it does well, then you go up. If it doesn't, you continue going up. It doesn't impact you on the way down. So yeah, it's loosely coupled architecture across the board.
Thank you, Tufi. There was a question about HyperY. I do actually have an update for that. Obviously, feel free to add anything if you see fit, Tufi. But HyperY is currently being tested, piloted by a number of the YMCA offices. And if you visit hyper-y.ai, there's actually a the HyperY app. It's a demonstration app. You can test it, have a little play around with it. If there's any bugs you find, please do report them. That's what it's there for. So you can get a bit involved with the testing if you like to. Just one important thing, not all the LLMs are providing real-time data. Sometimes they have one that is, and one that isn't. So if you do get, an answer that it's not providing real-time data, you don't need to report that. That's part of the demo app. But that is, the latest from HyperY. It's rolled out and it's being piloted in a number of YMCA offices, and that will just continue to expand and go from beta to full general release. Is there anything further to add to that, Tufi?
Oh, there will be. So this little background on that. This is one of our clients got the YMCA, that they have 65 million beneficiaries globally, and I think the Secretary General last January announced that they decided to build the AI for their users on HyperCycle, because it gives them the ability to not only have affordable access, but it gives them the ability to have access to all the latest and greatest in the AI world. But that HyperY on its own, it could become like a super duper valuable company. And yeah, I mean, we ended up doing it in partnership with the YMCA, and we're getting a lot of large companies that kind of come in and come in that partnership. So it's like, if anyone wants to, like, if you put me in, if you put me in front of Elon Musk, like right now, and I have like 30 seconds and I don't have other things to tell him, like, hey, you know what, we're the internet AIs, we're building it, and you'll get to see all of the cool proofs and enable your Grok and everything else to get faster. But right now, if you want to help with getting 65 million people from the YMCA to be up on time, just give me your top guy who can get them what it is from Grok or other places. So this is the stage that it's at. It needs a lot of compute, a lot of support, a lot of things like that, because we're trying to above and beyond everything else as we're doing. We're also trying to get these guys, because they're likely to pay like $1 per month instead of $20 per month each person. But that's still, as a company on its own, HyperY would be, if it generates, would be $780 million a year in revenue. It's not bad,
Wow.
So a lot of node factory owners, when they heard about this, it felt like they want to plug their nodes into that. And I think it's a great effort to also get us to shine about, and we're probably included into that marketplace as well, but we need to ask for their permission at this stage. But I think it's progressing nicely, and then there's like everything, things they progress nicely to give the ability to humans to see what part of what you're doing can accomplish. But there's a lot of other parts that the node can do that they don't necessarily show their strength in one single implementation. But it's a great use case, that's for sure. And I love these guys. They're very well intended, and they want to do great things.
Thank you, Tufi. Yeah,
they're massive. They have
great company
offices, by the way. Not only 65 million beneficiaries, 12,000 offices globally. This is massive. So that decision they've already done it like last year, and then they're already progressing and all that. And just if folks want to help out with that, they can reach out and let me know. Just sometimes people they like a few times, some people they're like, oh yeah, you want to help out with that, and they just get to talk to the YMCA dude because they're trying to sell them some other products. So I'm going to think they're trying to plug their, like, come on, guys, like, this is not a help. We're trying to get these guys off the ground, and yeah. So, but truly, like, I think from this community, I usually get like a lot of fascinating ideas and great help into guys like that. It's just so somebody, like, if somebody's got like some very strong ties with the let's say the AWS, that they're able to connect with the AWS folks who are able to come in and provide ginormous amount of compute for like a lot cheaper than everywhere else or whatnot, because they believe in the mission of YMCA to empowering youth with more knowledge or whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's like this kind of stuff. Like if Elon were to hear right now, he'd be like, holy shit, Tufi, yeah, 65 million people. Damn, no problem. We can power them like by the end of this month. Fuck yeah. Then like it's at that stage where we've already helped them build everything they need to build, and we need to get that amount of compute to power all 65 million people. So I mean, it's massive endeavor. It's like we're talking about $1 billion in hardware, and I don't have $1 billion in hardware to kind of donate right now. But it's just like, if for Elon, it's like, probably like he's not going to give me the $1 billion, but he give me access to the $1 billion and be like, oh, go use it. Let's fill them up. No problem. Yeah. So yeah, it's at that stage. There's a lot of prime stuff like that they are at that stage, and we're getting close and close to not waste people's time. Like, I don't like to waste people's time. Like, when I say Elon, some people, they don't like Elon himself. Some people, they like him. Just think of it like, if you like Jeff Bezos, fine. Same thing. That's my 30 seconds will be to Jeff Bezos. What I can say in that 30 seconds that doesn't waste their time, benefit them, and can have an ask at the end of the 30 seconds, they can actually do something about it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah,
if it's that kind of stuff that I feel like, there's my 30 seconds, there's my 30 minutes, there's my 2 hours. Depends how much time I've got to be in front of who, and I'm able to not waste people's time. So it's a great position to be in at this stage. I am now 3 minutes late for my next one, so I may have to run.
Okay, no problem, Tufi. Cruise on. Did you have something to say?
I did, but if Tufi's got to run, it can wait till next time. It involves our mutual contact in LA, if you know who that is. If I don't want to mention his name, but he has a particular product that he would like to talk to you and or Dan about producing his Hollywood level movies on HyperCycle.
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely one of the use cases. Yeah, man. Of course.
You know who I'm talking about?
Of course. Yes.
All right. Yeah, his product, he did a little demo already, and it looks pretty good.
Yes. No, for sure. Look, I asked people for use cases, and he came back to me with that, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing, and build the entire business around it and all that. Yeah, like this is gonna give people like a lot of ideas of like the things that you can do, and it's extremely important for us to be honest with them and tell them that there's one portion you can do it. You don't really need the nodes. But here's how it would look when you do have the nodes.
Right.
It's like, look, man, like, it doesn't matter, even if you are Jeff Bezos, you're in a world that it's like anything that you're going to put out, you're going to be competition, you're going to do exactly what you have. But you can plug those nodes on top that give you access to entire Internet of AI from intelligence perspective, or even like if you want to sell the product too. It's like, if that additive thing is only 0.0001% additive, but it's additive every second for every single AI that is out there. It's just like, if everything else is equal, A and B, A will win if you have the node. So that's absolutely. I think this would be one of the use cases. There's other use cases that there will come out, and I think people will hear about them in time when we get the proper permission from the parties. And I think when we push out that portal or whatnot for people to go and put their ideas there. We will definitely put those as well, and many others, because the AI markets is becoming more and more prime, and it can invite a lot of AI companies to be partners with us, and people will start seeing us for what we really are. We're additive. We're an infrastructure. We're not here to take anything away from the existing world. We're building that future and telling people come and build that future with us. So it's yeah. No.
May I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
That AI market that you're speaking of, will that house aims for us to participate in these projects?
What do you mean? It will
So, is this an AI repository for ideas, or is this a marketplace with aims that we can then participate and use in our nodes, and those people that created them can benefit from the processing of the data through our nodes?
Yes. I see what you mean. Okay, cool. So yeah, effectively, like for example, all the ones that they are that Aimifier got them up and running, there would be like different use cases for each and every one of those. But it's also anything that you can think of. It basically will be any AI that can sit inside the AIM, which is any AI that exists on this planet. Literally, we have people that they build, quantum stuff that we might quantum. Sorry, it's actually. It's a quantum simulated algo. This is not the actual quantum that we've got as one of the C8, but they also want to put their algorithm there, which can run some amazing type of compute, like a lot faster, cheaper, and all that, which is basically analog, the stuff that they've got, which is amazing. So there's a lot of stuff that you can put in there, but it's just it gives you the idea as a node factory owner to finally feel like, shit, I can do things every day by adding value to this entire community, entire things, because when the outsider is going to see the other section of that AI market, they see the public things, going to see things that's been already bombarded by the internal folks. So the internal folks might be harsh to each other and all that. Like for example, that person that you're talking to in LA. I mean, like I have this amazing relationship with them where we can be very harsh to each other internally, but like everything that comes out, the product comes out outside, is fucking awesome, right? So it's good to, to bombard things internally. It gives us all our community, especially the active ones, the ability to start, train things on one side, and then it's ready, it's prime, boom, push the button, push it to the other side. So the outsider, somebody comes in from the outside, or be like, oh shit, look at that, I see that movie production thing, I see that doctor thing, I see that the car company things, I see this car dealership, I see all of those use cases. It's closer to the minds of a Homo sapiens to understand what we're all about. That's what the intent of that market is there. So yeah, it's exciting. I think it's one step at a time, but we're getting there. Packaging this is what's going to make it super exciting.
Yes. I'm very much looking forward to it. I know you have to run, but I just want to say a shout out to Ray and for the CBNO. It's been a tremendous program so far, and looking forward to more.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your question.
Thank you, Cruiser.
I have to run. I am now 9 minutes late for the next. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Tufu. Thank you for your time, as always. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I do have one last update. This is the last HyperSpace on X. The show's not going anywhere. We are changing the name to Nodecast. It'll be the same format, and exclusively live to X. The only difference is that it will also now be published after the live to our YouTube podcast channel. So if you head to our official YouTube channel and click podcasts, you'll already see Ops Corner, the first 2 episodes of that there. And you'll also start to see from the first episode of Nodecast, which is on December the 8th, you'll start to see the X spaces on there too, within about 24 to 72 hours after the X space live has finished. And in addition to that, we also have one more podcast, which will be starting in January. That will be monthly. It will be video. It will be pre-recorded, so that won't be live. But in that show, we will have all the various people that are working on the Internet of AI with the HyperCycle software stack or business side or so on and so forth. There is so many people and so many talented people. It will also be a place for people who, if they have come up with a good idea and they want to promote it, they'll be able to go on. We'll probably start with the senior people who've been working with HyperCycle alongside HyperCycle for a long time before we start expanding the show out. But I am very much looking forward to that, and that will give you some fascinating insights into what is being built, because there is just so much being built right now by various entities, all taking their own trajectory and their own ideas. And I am, like others, I imagine, I'm very much looking forward to this marketplace that's coming too, a place where people can publish their ideas and advertise their ideas, is a big game changer for the Internet of AI. So on that note, I will see you all I'll speak to you all on the Monday, 8th of December at 9 p.m. UTC for the first episode of Nodecast. Have a great day, everyone, or a great evening, wherever you may be, and speak to you next time. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.